Good morning, students. So, in the previous class, we have discussed the meaning of war. Its its example, component, features, advantages, disadvantages, and idea behind the war, and who can use the war and for what they can use. So, next is different approaches or methods of war. So, how many methods are there for calculating the war? So, mainly there are three methods. So, there are three methods. One method is historical method, second is variance and covariance method, and last is Monte Carlo simulation method. So, let's take first one, that is historical simulation. So when we see this word historical, so here calculating war, that is the possibility of losses, we can calculate with the help of actual historical returns. So simply here historical simulation means we are just only taking our history, our past performance. So by studying our past performance, we are predicting the future losses. So that is called as historical simulation. So it is non-normal distribution, means it does not involve any kind of numerical calculations. So like we used to calculate variance, we used to calculate standard deviation for calculating risk, right? But historical method, it is purely non-normal distribution, means it is purely theoretical. Why? Because we are using the already available historical data for the calculation or assumption of the war. How much percentage of loss can a company face in future with the help of the past data? So that is historical method. So features of this method is, this is the very popular method, very famous method of estimating the war. And what it uses the past data to predict the future risk. So in historical method, this method uses the technique of reorganizing actual historical returns. So by taking the historical data and according to our present earnings, they will reorganize the already available data with the specification of the duration. For example, we are taking period. So for example, for historical comparison, we should take specific period of time. For example, we are taking 100 days past data. So for predicting our future 100 days, for predicting future 100 days, we are taking past 100 days. So 100 days means there will be 100 assumptions. So for one day there will be one return, second day second type of return. So there will be variation in the risk and the return also. So if you are taking n number of days, means there will be n number of assumptions. So according to our present earnings, we will reorganize this data. So that is reorganizing the actual data and putting them in order to make them worst to the best. So why we are using this? Why we are calculating war? To bring our company's worst position to the best of it, right? Why we want to know the future risk? Why? Because we don't want our company to face major losses. We want to save our company. We want to save the shareholders' expectations. So that is bringing the worst to the best. Next feature is it assumes history will repeat itself. So there is one popular phrase we also use in our daily life, that is history will repeat itself. So it means whatever happened in the history, the future will repeat it. So this phrase is assumed by this method. So now let's look into the process. So first step or first thing they will do is they will identify market variables. So which factor has affected companies earnings in the past. ಸೊ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ ಡೇಟಾನಲ್ಲಿ 100 ಡೇಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಂಪನಿಗೆ ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅರ್ನಿಂಗ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಸೊ ಆ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ ಯಾವ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲಿಂದ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ರೇಟ್. If your company is an MNC, if you are operating over the boundaries, so it can be exchange rate, it can be equity prices, so changing prices in the stock exchange, and the changing interest rates also. So first thing is we have to identify the market variables. So if the situation is like, if you are studying that, if you are read on report that in coming month the exchange rates may affect, so you will go to the past, you will look where this exchange rate has affected, you will bring that data. So that is the first step. So first is just knowing the market variable. Second step is going into the past and collecting relevant data to the market variable. So that is what I told you, going into the past, seeing where the exchange rates have affected, bringing that data for present estimation. See here, for example, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು 250 ಡೇಸ್ ತೊಗೊತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಸ್ಟಿಮೇಷನ್ಗೆ 250 ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂದರೆ 250 ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ. What can be happen today and tomorrow. So n number of days will provide n number of alternatives or n number of solutions. So third and the last step is for each scenario change. So what after comparing the data, whatever the change you may estimate, that will be written in dollar. So that is in dollar, or in for countries like India, it can also be measured in percentage basis. And one more thing, that it is non-probable. Sorry, non-normal distribution means it does not involve any kind of numerical calculation. It just provide one estimation probability for daily changes. Here advantages are given. So no assumption about risk factor. So here when we compare historical with variance and Monte Carlo, so their assumptions are being taken, but here we are taking the accurate historical data. So accurate historical data which is real, which is accurate, which has happened in the future. So that thing is not regarded as an assumption. Assumption is one which an human being considers or thinks by himself. He produces ideas by himself, by his sixth sense we can say. But historical data is real in nature, it is not an assumption about the risk factor. So historical simulation does not involve estimation of statistical parameters. So I told you, so it does not involve any kind of numerical or statistical calculation, because it is fully theoretical. Like it does not involve variance, covariance or standard deviation. As it is theoretical, it is easy to explain, and it involves decisions from the corporate board of directors. So the board of directors of the company will study the historical data, and it is non-technical, it is easy to explain. Now look into the other side, that is difficulties or disadvantages. So it is difficult to accomplish, it is difficult to achieve or complete, because the phrase history will history will sorry because the phrase history will repeat itself, history will repeat itself, it does not happen always. So whatever happened in the past, we cannot give 100% guarantee that it will happen in future, right? So some changes may come in future, some new techniques may come that eradicates those variable changes, anything can happen. Now technology is going beyond human being thinking, we cannot even think those things are happening today. So how can we tell that, give 100% surety that history will repeat itself? So we cannot tell 100%, but nearly up to 160% we can say it will happen, but not 100%. So next, it does not involve any, that is, it does not involve any statistical assumptions. So if you want your investors uh, to think them they are in the more safety zone, you must provide them data which is numerical, data which is numerical. So you people also know that numbers are the most attractive. So in your class also, as a student, we don't like theory classes, we feel sleepy, right? But when practicals are going on, we'll be more alert, we'll feel interesting to solve or to play with the numbers. So here also it does not involve distributional assumption, means does not have variance, covariance, standard deviation, numbers, etc. So the theory studying the past data, to this extent only this is limited, it is not going for this. So only theoretical basis the historical data can be used. But if your stakeholders want you to perform in terms of numbers, means so it is not suitable, that is the disadvantage. So next method is invariance and covariance. So here to eradicate the drawbacks of historical simulation, one another method was introduced. So here historical simulation was mainly lacking the numerical calculations. So the next method was purely on numerical calculations or statistical calculation, where we are going to calculate variance and covariance. So this method assumes the stock returns are normally distributed. So that is normal distribution curve, that is bell shape, which divides completely half mean and median. So this is normal distribution. So this method uses the stock prices and the returns, and they will plot it into the normal distribution. So simply it means they are just calculating expected and average return. So we have already calculated the expected return and the standard deviation, where we calculated this one, expected return and the standard deviation, where we calculated this. So let me know in your comment box um, if you know this. so which allow to plot a normal distribution. So for plotting normal distribution, we have two variables. One is expected return and the standard deviation. So simply calculating this and plotting it into the normal distribution. So same here idea is same like we have studied in the historical method, but except there we are presenting our data into a curve, that is normal distribution curve. There also we predicted the expected earning with the help of the historical data, but here we are also calculating standard deviation and normal distribution curve. So first steps. Step 1 is mapping individual investment into a set of simple and standardized market instruments. So whatever the individual investment a company has, first step is to collect them and to make them as one market instrument. So bring all the individual securities and make this as one market instrument, one standardized market instrument, so that it will be easy for predicting the risk. So that is, we can call it as a portfolio. We can give a name as portfolio, basket of investments. So positioning the instrument into the market. Here we can say this method is